This is Mary Collins from C.H.A.N.G.E Hypnotherapy, and I have the absolute pleasure to have Stuart Robertson on with me today. Hi, Stuart. How are you?
Hi, Mary. Very well, thank you.
Well, I'm super excited to announce that you and I are working on a joint project together in the south of France this April, April 27th to May 4th. But first, let's tell some people a little bit about you and me. So I'm going to just give a little bit of information on your bio, who you are, and what you do. Stuart Robertson is a transformational performance coach, and he specialized or has specialized experience specifically in sports such as golf, darts, and more. He was a former police inspector in Scotland, which has helped him to transfer his team building and strategical development skills from his life experience. Because sometimes working in a hostile and challenging situation can really prepare you for the world. So Stuart has trained in life coaching, NLP, hypnotherapy, mindfulness, Reiki, and uses a combination of therapies dependent on the needs of the client. His focus outside of C.H.A.N.G.E Retreats is his 360 Performance Academy, which works with all sports performance training with his specialty golfers. Stuart will be working within C.H.A.N.G.E Hypnotherapy and C.H.A.N.G.E Retreats on group and private sessions, focusing on body-mind connection and transformational life coaching. Mindfulness workshops inclusive of body-mind balance and motivations to help clients work out the why and the how of moving forwards towards progressive changes and positive outcomes. So Stuart, with all of that, give us a little idea of what made you decide to get into being a therapist.
I suppose that during my service in the police and seeing how the mental strain of the public and the police officers under my command were on a daily basis affecting how they went about their business, and there wasn't really anything in place that allowed them to de-stress before the next episode of shifts or even traumatic events, and dealing with chaos all the time, which is generally what the police do. It was quite obvious that something had to change. But one of the best things that I did in my service was work with young adults, and that age between 14, 15 up to 20 years of age. You could see that it was the environment that they were in that was causing lifestyle choices and the chaos that then became in their life. So when I then retired and I decided to become a life coach, it was mainly that kind of area that I worked in. It was mainly traumas and changing people's perception of what life could be for them. And that reset's so important for everyone. We all have this story that we have in our lives that we hold on to, that we think dominates our thinking about what the future is going to be. So that was one of the main things that changed for me, even around police officers as well, about their stress and just thinking this is only going to get more and more and more. And when you do that reset with them, it's amazing what they can achieve and how, if you think about it, if I change them and I make them less stressed, then the public benefit from that as well. And it kind of unfolded from there and developed into what I now present.
Excellent. And that's so true. You know, we get such a bad idea of what the armed forces and the police force and how they're the bad guys, not realizing how much intensity they have on a daily basis, that they're supposed to unload before they go home. But they're always in uniform, even when they're not, because they're expected to maintain, you know, the kind of discipline and calm all the time. And we are human when it comes down to it. So it's amazing that you have seen that missing need and you're filling that missing need now within the community and also at our retreats. And speaking of which, at our retreats, what we want to explain to people, this isn't set for one particular kind of person. It's for people who simply are looking for their life change. Like what is it that needs to change within their lives, or if they don't know, that's where I come in with intuitive healing, like following their gut and figuring out what needs to change, finding that answer and then working with you, with your workbooks to cement that answer and move forward with their lives. So speaking of which, what would you say your transformational coaching is about?
In essence, it's about getting from A to B. So A being, where are you right now, and what's the reality of where you actually are? Because when we think about it, we think we're in a certain place mentally, emotionally, spiritually, but actually once we ask some good questions, we can start to actually find out where we are in reality. One of the biggest problems with people is they don't know where they want to go to. They don't have a sense of where B is. They have a sense of being stuck in A. If you try to get to a destination, you need to know what that destination is, or the general area of where it is. Once we establish A and we establish B, that's when my skills come in, because then I say, right, this is the journey I would like to go on with you to get you closer to B within this time scale. And even if we don't get to be in that time scale, what it does is to set that person off in a pathway to get to where they want to go. That's quite an easy thing, isn't it? A to B, when we say that, but actually the intricacies of it and resetting us so that it gives us the space and time to actually achieve what we need to achieve to get to there. And that is the same whether you're a sports person, whether it's life or whether it's business. And just as you were talking there about how we're always on alert for the next thing, and that's hypervigilance. And the hypervigilance is a stress reaction that keeps you continually on edge, like that police officer thing. They're always looking for the next thing. And that's also for sports people and business people, people that can't put down their phone because they're always waiting on the next email or the next bit of context that they have to act on. And this is what we're trying to create here, is somewhere that the focus is on you, not on what you do. I think that's a fair way to explain it.
Exactly. And like you said, especially with the phone and everything, it's a dopamine hit, isn't it? It's like a dopamine being the thing that gives you a reward for protecting the body and the mind. And, in nature back in the day, yes, you would get a reward for surviving. But now the way media and marketing and everything is, and the world has pushed us, you're getting a reward for doing what they want you to do, checking your emails, checking social media, in the case of fear, being afraid through social media posts and through the news, because that's what your actual subconscious does. 80% of the body and the mind is run on your subconscious, and people don't realize that. When I say to them, but you're already in a semi-hypnotic state, you're already in a trance, they're like, what are you talking about? I know what I'm doing. And it's like, no, you don't. The majority of people use very little critical thinking. They use emotional thinking. How come then, if they use emotional thinking, can't they harness that emotion, that gut instinct? And that's the other thing, there are neurotransmitters are throughout our bodies. I mean, it's like all of our bodies. We're made up of this electricity, and those circuits can be redesigned, changed. They can create new reasons for that dopamine rush, that reward sort of center. And a lot of people don't realize that reward center actually comes from our gut. This is where the most neurotransmitters are. So the old saying of follow your gut is so relevant, because yes, that's where your senses are telling you the butterflies in your stomach, you're feeling nervous for a reason, or the hairs on the back of your neck, but ultimately from that stomach area up to the brain, sort of telling you something isn't quite right. We've lost that. A lot of people have, it's been replaced with something else telling them, something external. And this is where we come in, because with my intuitive healing, I'm going to tell you, because that's what I do. I follow my gut. If something doesn't feel right, I just don't do it. And it has led to success. And okay, maybe I've been in media. I could have gone a lot further. I could have done a lot more films. I mostly focused on TV, but I knew that in my heart and my gut that certain things weren't right. I didn't want to change my moral compass to please others. I didn't want to tell lies when I was doing investigative journalism. I wanted to tell the truth. And that's not what society was allowing. Not society, that's not what the people in charge were allowing. So my gut said, okay, how can I help others through the knowledge I have, through the skills that I have? And I realized that I can help people one-on-one and in group sessions and with friends who are great therapists to help people find themselves and go back to their gut and their intuition and get those dopamine hits from helping themselves.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm hoping we can come in. I'll have a journal provided by Becky Hemsley, which she makes the most beautiful poetry for all sorts of issues. And she worked with me on this journal to create step-by-step feelings and emotions and poetry that goes with those feelings and emotions and how they relate to the world and to others. And I know you're going to have some workbooks as well to take from once we start to figure out who we all are, and then to take that and you're going to help with the workshop side of it to get people to say, okay, now I think I know this is what I want. How do I get there?
Yeah.
Right?
So the way I look at it as, we have your purpose. It's a good example of what you've just said there. You have your purpose, you have your passion, or you do something that has a purpose. And when you break that down and find out where you sit in the middle of that triangle, because people don't sometimes know what their passion is. Some people don't know what their purpose is. I wouldn't have said the police was my purpose. I would say this is my purpose, and I have a passion for it, and it also has a purpose to do it. So I'm quite in a fortunate position that I have found what I want to be doing. And I think that's for a lot of people is where that stagnation in life comes in, that they can't have that vision of the future that might bring them that dream role that is filled with purpose and filled with passion. And if we can move you towards that and give you a pathway that you can continue on, I think we've won if we can give people that. And my role is to give you all the tools that can help you get there in a timely fashion and with logic, as well as the more holistic experiences we're going to be giving all those people.
Exactly. And that's the other thing too, we're not just talking about, okay, change of career, change of relationship status. We're not just talking about that. We're talking about all the things that your gut has been trying to tell you that you're not listening to it, there, where you end up with IBS, where you end up with anxiety, where you end up with not being able to sleep, where you end up with headaches, where you end up with extreme fatigue and exhaustion because you're just not letting yourself express itself. And that is a thing that people don't realize. And then they get stuck on the pharmaceutical painkillers. They get stuck on the depression medicine, which is they're just temporary. They're blockers. They're not meant to be for the rest of your life. So no matter what stage in life you're at, you should give yourself that respect, that honor, to listen to what you are asking yourself to be and to do. And whether that's, just retiring or chilling or changing jobs or, changing relationships or finding relationships, once you start listening to yourself, all these things will manifest. They will come to you. I have it where if I need something, it comes to me. If it's not meant to be, it doesn't. It's simply because, and I'm relaxed about it. And so my sympathetic nervous system is chill, even though I'm super hyper, because I trust my gut, and my gut allows things to come because your energy, Stuart, we'll talk about this in some other episodes about how cortisol affects people and how even through sweat you express cortisol, which means that if you're feeling nervous and you go into a room and they're calm, they'll get nervous. If you're feeling fear, it's the same. If you're feeling joy, you'll release certain hormones that it will just spread. And that's why they say energy spreads. And if you have one bad apple, it spoils the bunch, because just through our energy, just through our hormones and the way we express our hormones through sweat, etc., these things come out. So this can not only change you, this can change your environment, this can change your family dynamic, this can change your work dynamic. So we really, obviously we're recommending you come to our retreat April 27th to May the 4th in the south of France. But in general, whether you're going to Stuart to see him for his therapies, or you want to come to me and learn a bit more about the intuitive healing, we really recommend that you make a change now, because there's nothing like now. Later is something that becomes regret, which is more tension and more stress and more anxiety. And the now, the present, the preparation, that is the beginning of your journey already. So with that, I'll tell you a little bit more about where you're going to be. It is down near Spain, only about 20 minutes from the border of Spain. It's sunny pretty much all year. The temperature is no more than from 17 to about 27, but when the time of year where we're going, it's going to be wonderful 22 to 25 Celsius, which is going to be a nice balmy, sunny temperature. It is only 2 minutes, about 2 minutes walk to the sea. There's also coastal walks up the mountain, and it's one of the most beautiful regions where artists from all over the world, we're talking Milou, Van Gogh, Salvador Dali, all of these people went to this area because of the beautiful atmosphere around it, something to do with the sunsets and the sea, whatever way the bay is near Collioure. It just happens to be beautiful. There's lots of wildlife. There's going to be these coastal. So my little itinerary I have planned is that you have a choice of coastal walks. You have a chance to do sea bathing or earth bathing with just being in the grounds of the area, which is a beautiful, as you can see behind me, a beautiful private villa. There are only a few spaces available, so you do have to apply because we really do want that good energy and help you create even better energy. So apply as soon as possible. It's very reasonable. We charge per room, and that includes therapies, food. There's only 2 occasions where we're going to go out because we want to experience culture as well. We want to explore the area. But everything else is included, and transfers from the main train station, the local train station, is also included, along with us taking you to exciting new places. So vineyards, coastal walks, the sea, the sun, the sand, beautiful gardens, and of course, wonderful trained therapists. Right, Stuart?
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it already.
Thank you so much. And if anyone would like Stuart's information, I will put Stuart's information in the link. And of course, I will put Change Hypnotherapy, which is time4change.info, in a link, and also on this podcast, as it were. And Stuart and I are going to work on some other podcasts to bring to you, talking about anxiety, talking to you about changes, stress, hormonal, everything you can think of that will help you grow as a person and to help your energy change so that the people around you will notice it and it'll make a difference, all in all. So thank you very much, everyone. And Stuart, thank you. I look forward to seeing you
Thank you
soon.
very much. Likewise.